Hello, this is Amber from LoveFit, and I wanted to add another video in my postnatal series. You'll have to apologise for the fact that I haven't even got any makeup on or brushed my hair, but Milo is asleep and I thought now would be a good time to capitalise on that fact and shoot a quick video. So today I wanted to talk about the rush and pressure that a lot of women feel after giving birth to kind of get back into shape and banish the mummy tummy and all of those kind of social stigmas that we have. And of course, I, like anybody, am very aware of the changes in my body, and of course I miss having a flat stomach and all of those things that were the case pre-pregnancy. But whatever you started off at, the chances are your body's going to be very different in the postnatal period. And I think a lot of people feel this pressure to get back into shape, whether it's from looking at, celebrities in the media, or even if it's not that kind of thing, even if you're a little bit more kind of savvy and realise that those women have a lot of stuff at their disposal that, we mere mortals do not have. I think it's still a kind of personal thing that you just, you feel a bit strange in your body. So I think a lot of people expected me at this stage. I'm almost 10 weeks postnatal now. So yeah, Milo's just gone 2 months old. And I think a lot of people kind of expected me to be, running around and jumping up and down by now and swinging very heavy kettlebells and kind of, yeah, look at me, 2 months on and I'm completely back to normal. And I guess I probably would be surprising a lot of people when I say that's actually not the case at all, for various reasons. Firstly, I didn't have the easiest birth and certainly the immediate recovery. I had a few complications, which I won't go into in this video, but it meant that basically for about 3 weeks after giving birth, I could barely walk. I mean, genuinely barely walk. I kind of shuffled around up until about a month postnatal, and it was really quite painful. So anything beyond that was not going to work, and as I say, that's due to the delivery I had and some complications afterwards. So that's the first thing. So with that in mind, as much as that kind of shocked me, and I thought that a few days after giving birth I'd be out and about marching around with the pram, it kind of reset my expectations. But also I'd always maintained, even before the birth, that I would really respect my body, take care, and do all the things I advise my clients to do. So as much as I do have women coming back to me in the very early stages, certainly my one-to-one clients who start back early, we very much do take that opportunity to kind of focus on restoring the core and the much more kind of holistic approach and looking really deeply at nutrition and core function and total bodily well-being, if that makes sense. Whereas with the group sessions, and I am sort of introducing some new sessions in the future, but at the moment, although I do welcome women back any time after their 6-week check, providing they haven't had a cesarean, in which case they do need to wait till at least sort of 10 to 12 weeks. If I get women wanting to come back at that 6-week stage, then I really do ask them to follow my advice and not do some of the options that maybe some of the women who, whose kids are now toddlers or older, not to kind of feel any pressure from watching what they're doing, and instead to heed my advice. And I think if you're the kind of person who had a good birth and you're very fit and you had a great pregnancy, then you kind of think, well, I should just be able to jump back into things. And to be fair, it's your body. I always tell people it's up to them what they do, but you could actually really be doing a lot more damage than you realise. So if you just leap back into things, it might feel all right at the time, but it can cause huge damage, especially to the pelvic floor. And a lot of women kind of poo-poo this, but really it's worth listening to me and not kind of jumping into things too quickly. So I'll always encourage my sort of early postnatal women in a group environment to take my lead and take much lower options, or a lot of the time actually do completely different exercises to the rest of the group. So yeah, I kind of decided for myself that I was going to do that and not do the approach of, oh yeah, I'm this fitness instructor, I know what I'm doing, I'm really healthy, look at me, and I'm back to normal just 8 weeks after giving birth. I guess in some ways maybe that disappoints some people. I don't know, whoever's watching this, some of you might be thinking, wow, yeah, I kind of would have expected more of Amber. And others, maybe it's kind of humbling and nice to know that I am the same as everybody else. I'm no different. Yes, I might be a health and fitness instructor and this may be my specialist field, but I still have all the same struggles as everybody else. So I have started off my recovery once I was able to kind of walk a bit more comfortably. Mainly I've just been doing loads and loads of walking, really trying to watch my posture, because it's so easy. I've done previous videos in the postnatal period showing you about dodgy posture. So I've just been really mindful of my posture, trying not to slouch, and when I'm feeding Milo, to try and get comfortable, get my shoulders relaxed, because especially in the early days, I found that you're trying to get him in the right position and you're all kind of hunched like this, and just carrying him, leaning back and all of those kind of things. So mindful of my posture, walking lots. And then the other thing I've been doing, which a lot of you will have heard me talk about before, is hyperpressives. This is a low pressure exercise specifically designed to minimize pressure in the abdomen. And that's one of the things you'll have heard me harp on about, is that we often have increased pressure because of laxity of the stomach muscles, because of that weakness. Every time you sneeze, cough, laugh even, move quickly, sit up out of bed, all of those things, you're putting extra pressure on your abdomen, your pelvic floor, and this really doesn't help the recovery process. Tissue can take up to 3 years to fully recover, so it's a long time. And I'm not saying you shouldn't do anything for 3 years, but certainly there's no rush to kind of start going crazy with your work. So yeah, for me, it's been about the hyperpressives for the last sort of 4 weeks, I guess from 6 weeks, when I'd had my postnatal check and I started to feel a little bit better physically. I then felt ready to do more than just walking. And I do, squat, I think squatting is a really important thing. So I have been starting to do some other kind of gentle exercises, just body weight stuff for now, or sometimes holding the baby. But nothing more strenuous. And there is a bit of me that's desperate to do that. And I guess now my body feels so much better that I kind of could do that. But I have got a bit of a separation in my tummy muscles, just around my belly button, but enough that I know there's no point doing things that might make that worse. So for now, I'm focusing for the next month on my hyperpressives, try and bring back that tummy together, try and help those, that will help my stomach flatten as well. It's definitely going to help with the pelvic floor restoration. And then after that point, I will start to build my program up a little bit more, but I'm not going to be going to do any impact for a while. Now in September, I'm due to be doing the Spartan race. At that point, Milo will be 5 and a bit months. So, by then we're into a slightly different phase. And again, I'm not going around that course looking to do any record breaking speed. So, I can adjust things accordingly. And if at the time it feels like that's not the right thing to do, then I won't. But I'm hoping all should be good for that. So anyway, I've just heard the little man start screaming upstairs, so I'm going to go. But really, it's just to say, ladies, be kind to yourself. Please don't feel any pressure. And I hope that I can act as a role model, and that you find that inspirational, as opposed to thinking, oh my God, if she can't even be bothered to get back into things at 6 weeks postnatal, then who are we? So it's not a case of not being bothered. It's a case of wanting to do the right thing, start the healing from within. I'm drinking plenty, I'm eating well, with the odd bit of cake and chocolate thrown into the mix, of course, but, generally making sure my nutrition's good and building everything back slowly, because that's going to set the foundation. That means I should then ultimately be able to get back to my strength training, which I love and I miss, rather than jumping back into it and setting myself back and possibly doing lasting damage to the areas of my body that I'd rather not do lasting damage to. Okay, so that's my tuppence worth. I hope that's interesting for you. If you have any questions, as always, drop me a line on info@lovefittraining.co.uk. And yeah, check out my website, check out my blog, and I will see you soon. Take care. Thank you. Bye.